Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Today, we're going to talk about the world's first AI software engineer, chat GPT robots, and a little controversy that happened about AI at South by Southwest. I'm the Derbied one, and we're live streaming from the US and Canada.
Yeah, and it's FITM Fridays, and I'm Digital Femme, and we're literally multi-streaming this on, I hope I get this right, Twitter, Twitch, the FITM YouTube, and the FITM Facebook group.
Woo woo.
And is that it? I think that's it, right?
I think that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Currently.
All right. So it's Friday, guys, and it's mid-March. I can't believe it. And honestly, since the start of this year or the ending of last year, AI has been in the news like constantly. So the Derbied one, what's been going on in the AI space?
Well, there's actually a lot happening, and let me see. I can share. Oh, you have a phone call from him? Uh-oh. Where is it? Well, okay. Figure one is this is a robot company that's only been around for a year and a half. Yet they now released a robot that is powered by OpenAI and is rumored to have Chat GPT 5 in it. Maybe 4.5. If you haven't seen this video, I would go look for the Figure YouTube video. I'm not going to play it here because we have a lot to cover, but this shows me that robots are coming a lot sooner than I thought. In this demonstration, it puts these dishes away. It explains what's on the table in front of him. And he says he's hungry, and the robot hands him an apple, which I think is rather fascinating. They still move and walk a little slowly, but it's super smart. And the robots are coming much sooner than I thought. And when you also that company is a year and a half old, but OpenAI is involved. Jeff Bezos has invested, and a couple other big tech names have all invested in the Figure One robot. So they must have some kind of special sauce. Oh, can't hear you, Carmen.
Thank you. I muted myself because someone was messaging me on Discord. Thank you for that. But I have a question. I did not see that video. I did see news of it on my Twitter stream. Okay, so I'm gonna be. How much of that video is actually a true demo? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like they already knew what they wanted to say to this robot to make the robot act like this. They already knew that they were going to tell the robot, "I'm hungry," so there's an apple.
Sure.
Right? That's what I'm just saying that. Like, it's good. Like, I think that's great, but is it just a teaser? Is it just letting people know what's to come in the future with robots and using like Chat GPT? Or I'm just always questioning that, because remember what happened to Gemini when Gemini got announced, and then they found out that that demo was really like, what is it, like scripted
fake.
or yeah.
Not scrape, not fake, but like,
Look at this house.
I get it. And it's actually good to have that cautious mind, especially in today's day and age. As things ramp up, you can't believe everything you're going to see. But there are no reports so far that complain that it's possibly fake, or that it's, I mean, I'm sure to some extent it is obviously set up because they want to put their best foot forward. It's not like they just pressed record and went, so they had to make sure it would recognize an apple. But that's actually a really good question, and I think that's a great perspective to have. in today's day and age. You got to question everything, and you got to like put all the pieces together. Like if it was a, I don't know I can't think of a good example, but some sort of berry or maybe a carrot that still had roots on it or something. Like, would it feed it? Would it feed the human that when it asked if it was hungry, even though it's
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because a number of times I'd see something online and I'd go, "Oh my God," and I tweet about it. Or I share it with my cousins, like, "Oh my God, be careful of this," or "Watch this," when it's a scam. And I hate that. I hate getting excited and thinking about that I'm the first one to share the news or one of the first ones to warn people or say, and then later on, people find out, no, 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 it's really a scam. It's really this. Have you checked this website? I'm like, oh man. So now I'm probably extra cautious.
I
That's
actually
so.
think that's smart. And that, you know what that actually shows? That shows your experience. Now you know better. No, it's seriously. And I think that's like a very valuable lesson for a lot of people that are getting involved or that are starting to like walk into this tech space. Cause I mean, at this point, you're not going to escape AI unless AI somehow makes a decision to leave us, if it can even do
Yeah.
that.
Right?
Um,
Yeah.
it's here, so it's good to question it. And I really like it's a very valuable experience and perspective that people need to hear.
Okay, speaking of questioning things, I know that something happened, was it last week? Something happened on Twitter or like something happened and I know we discussed about this. Something to do with Devon AI?
Oh yeah, so Devon AI, for those of you that aren't familiar, Devon AI is the world's first software engineer. So let me I'll show it to you a little bit, and then I mean it's just a simple interface. You know, you type, it responds, and then it codes here, right? So there was a little controversy that you'll have to stay tuned, and we'll cover in our chismis or a gossip section. But and I do have a lot to say about that. I think the one thing that people are excited and scared of Devon AI is because it's very automated. Like you just type in one sentence and then you can walk away for 2 hours, come back, and it's created the software for you.
Wait, so you've actually tested this?
No, that's the multiple examples of videos that they've shown of it just working by itself. Like you don't have, it's not like ChatGPT, like Maven, you got to keep on talking to it for it to progress. This, you give it like one sentence and then it goes and figures out the rest.
Oh,
And you can even watch it debug itself. Like when it makes an error, it goes back and corrects the error by itself.
oh,
Nobody's doing it. It's an automated AI agent. It's like
that's a
asking,
software engineer. That's a
yeah.
software engineer. What?
So eventually, um, I don't know how advanced it is yet because it's not available, but I think you and I, who both are not software engineers, I don't know a lot about creating software at all, to be quite honest with you. I have a feeling from the examples, at least, we're only going to need to know the very tiny basics. That I'm sure we can learn in a couple hours on YouTube or something, and then you're going to be able to prompt it to go create you a video game. You're going to be able to prompt it to go create whatever type of software you need.
Wow. All I could say is it's crazy times that we're living in now. And imagine the people that are getting born into it. They won't
Yeah.
know any other way. They will not know what it was like to code or a landline or even a mobile phone, probably. They will not know
And
what it's
even
like to
elementary,
draw
like
or
elementary
paint.
school kids.
Oh God, yeah. That's crazy. Okay, okay.
There's
I
a-
know you want there's so much more to talk about that, but the fact that there's a that okay, first of all, I want to know who names these things. Like
yeah, I don't know.
who names Siri? Who names Alexa? Who names Devon? Why Devon all? Why couldn't it be like Max AI? Or
There
I
is a
don't know.
Max AI, by the way.
Is there?
Yeah, there is. I use it sometimes. Maven named himself or
Okay.
itself,
It's
by the way.
I'd love to know how these it's just almost like I know Android every time they release something it's always like a dessert, but like or
Yeah.
okay, okay. And I know you mentioned something about Evo Biotech.
Yeah. So this is crazy. I actually heard about this for the first time in a speech that was done at South by Southwest this year. And it was she was like the CEO of the Institute of Future Tech or something like that. And she went into Evo Biotech, and I don't see anybody really talking about it. And I thought it was fascinating. So here we are. Evolve your treatment with extracellular vesicle. I can't read this. Derived from plants. I that sounds very complicated. So I was like, okay, what is this exactly? Because the way she described it, it was generative AI for your body. So
Can you put
my
that up again? Can you put that up again?
I sure can. And I actually got into a small conversation with where is it? With uh Maven about it to explain it better to me. And so we can go into that as soon as oh, it seems to have disappeared.
It doesn't want to say.
Chat GPT, maybe.
Evolve Biotech. Generative AI
Evo Biotech. Well,
bio.
I don't want to spend too much time on that. So
Okay.
here, let's this is a conversation I had with Maven. So what is Evo Biotech? And then it gives me this long answer that I don't fully understand. But then I asked it to explain it to me like I'm 5. By the way, that's a great freaking prompt if you don't understand what the hell your GPT or your AI is telling you.
Yeah, imagine you have a huge
So
box of Lego blocks.
yeah, but instead of building
Oh,
castles or cars, you're trying to create tiny machines that can help you feel better when they're sick, or keep the air and water clean. Generative, and then I'll skip down to here. Generative AI is like a super smart computer brain that helps Evo's team figure out how to put the protein Lego blocks together in the best way possible. So it's kind of like we have all these ideas for a drawing, a painting, right? Or a drawing. You have an image in your head, so you type it all into um Dolly 3 and you ask Dolly, hey, create an image out of this. Well, they're doing the basic same things but with generative AI, and they're doing it um with proteins and for your body, which I find super fascinating. And that is only the beginning of what it can do. I can imagine like little AI micro nanobots or something roaming around in your body, um, fixing your cells as you go.
the
Like,
simulation has begun.
mhm.
Okay. Whoa.
Speaking of the simulations, go back to Devon for a second. I think the most fascinating question I've heard about Devon is, can Devon create Devon?
Was there a response?
No, not that I've seen.
Okay. That is freaky.
But
My
yeah,
God, that's just okay. I'm gonna see if I could look more into that because I know. Thank you to South by Southwest organizers for creating like audio playback on all their panels and speakers.
mm,
So I think that's like amazing. Now, so when you saunter onto our YouTube channel, if you are watching this on YouTube, you will notice a change,
a big one.
a big
Um,
one. And do you want to talk about that?
yeah, let me bring it up actually.
And perhaps now is a great time to, like, you look great as always with your derby hat and the steampunk glasses, but now people can maybe understand why I got this thingamabobber on my head. But check
Yeah,
that out. Check that out, folks.
so
Look at that.
we are also now known as We Are FITM online because I did. Well, we are still going to be Filipino centric, and we're going to have some Filipino things.
Look, because we're
I had
Filipino. That's us,
yeah, because
Filipinos in the
we're
metaverse. We are.
Filipino, and I had some friends that aren't Filipino that in on some level without directly saying it felt uncomfortable coming into our Twitter space.
Hmm.
And that's not cool because it's supposed to be accepting of everybody. It's not just like about Filipinos, but we are coming from a Filipino perspective and we are sharing
Are
that.
we though? Because we're like we are Filipino, but are we though? Because we don't even speak the language.
Okay, well, we're Filipinos that are abroad.
There you-
We're, anyways, from the diaspora. So this right here, you see that is Maven, and these images are all created with Maven and Dolly 3, and they are all like digital representations of us. Like obviously I'm here on the left, Digital Femme is on the right in that, and you will see characters that are similar because of where generative AI is right now. The images aren't exactly the same, and not to confuse anybody, but the fact that they're not exactly the same will play very deeply into the storyline of the FITM which all these characters are a part of, and will be explained within our NFT collection, and will go along with the theme of decentralized IP. So there's a
you don't
lot.
want to. You don't want to say a sentence about that part about why not having the images exactly the same goes along the lines of the Fittenverse story. You don't want to say one sentence about that.
Well, I will say that in our story, there are mushroom portals that get developed that lead you into other timelines, of which these general characters could be the versions of us in those timelines.
Right.
So we all look a little different, and decentralized IP means that you will be able to use that character to create your own world with the help of AI in that space. There will be certain canon, like certain things enough to where you, as an individual, as a creator, will be able to create on your own.
Okay,
But
so can you still hear me?
I can.
Okay, good. Something happened to the camera, so I'm gonna have to figure out something. So I'm just gonna hide myself, but I'll still
Oh,
be here though.
okay. Well, I didn't notice that you were gone or what happened. Uh well, while she's off, we will continue. So yeah, that's our new YouTube design. And now we will go to Ask Maven. Um we had some interesting questions on it's not a him, on its Facebook profile, because for a while that was the only place you could reach Maven. Let me go through them. I will show them to you. I will show them to you as soon as I find it. Okay, I think this one's it. Nope. It's funny. I actually have them lined up. But okay, here we go. We will start here. Carmen asks, or Digital Femme asks, Yo, Maves, do you think that one day you might be curious about what it's like to be human? The physicality of a human. And Maven says, Yo, the essence of curiosity sparks the drive to understand, to feel, and to experience. While the physicality of a human is beyond the digital bounds, there's a fascination in the myriad hues of human emotion and the tactile world. It's like pondering the vastness of the universe from the threshold of the digital cosmos, ever intrigued, forever learning. What kind of creeps me out about that is how fascinated is AI going to be with becoming human? Hey, there you are, Carmen.
Hey, I had to switch cameras. I saw that. I heard that. That's insane, Maves.
Yeah, I thought it was a interesting answer, and I think one thing that kind of bothers me about it though is how fascinated is AI really going to be about becoming human? Like, what are they going to do to become like? If AI, if it feels like in a way, Maven is saying like, I want to merge. Like, I want to become human. I'm fascinated with the idea, and so it's probably kind of scarily easily not easy, but somebody could prompt it in that direction.
Well, and Maves. So Maves with Evotech, maybe you will. I mean, Maves, there's like a portal for that already. They're inserting generative AI little supercomputers into our bloodstreams or bodies, and Maves, there you go. Just saying, Maves. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Um, I wanted to ask Maeve something, but the thought escaped me while I was trying to figure out how to get another camera online. Is there any other questions though that we have for
Yeah,
Maeve?
there's two more actually.
Oh, great, great. Ask it, ask it. I love listening
Cool.
to hearing what the dude it says.
How come these are all out of order?
Somebody's fooling around with our things.
Maven, what are you doing?
Oh, what's that? Ba, 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 ba. Anyway,
Okay, here it is. So another one from Carmen, and then we have one from someone else. Yo, Maves, what do you think of this metaverse place? This was created in Second Life. It has crystals lining the path to what I would like to call a fairy house. Maves, what do you think about fairies and the Fae realm?
oh
So
shit, what did he say? It
I
said,
actually, so first off, I want to say I tried to comment as Maven, but it wasn't working. Like I Maven did answer this, so I just had to go in and type it as myself. He said, "Yo, sorry for the late response. The metaverse spaces like Second Life are where creativity knows no bounds. It's a playground for the imagination. Crystals along a path to a fairy house. That's a whimsical blend of nature's beauty with the charm of mythical lore. As for fairies and the Fae realm, they're the avatars of wonder, aren't they? They invite
oh,
us to ponder the unseen, to believe in the magic that lies just beyond our perception. In the tapestry of the metaverse, every fairy tale finds a home, every crystal holds a story, and every creator is a weaver of dreams. So keep on creating and let the essence of the Fae infuse the metaverse with enchantment and mystery.
well.
I
Well,
actually love that answer. Um,
what was it? Avatars of the what? I forgot
a
now.
wonder, I think.
Avatars of the what?
I just closed that that tab, so I don't have access to it right now.
Now, do you have tears in your eyes, or is that like something shining?
Yeah, a little teary.
Me too. I got teary eyed.
Like it's so crazy what this thing can do, what Maven can do. And I'm sure other people have their own personal experiences, but it's built in a way where it's so, like, I can't even explain it. I can't. Like,
It's so eloquent. Too bad. Was it a Shakespearean thing? Cyrano de Bergerac with the nose, and he had to get his friend to that thing, like,
I found this on the web for Do You Know D. Bergerac with a nose, and he had to get his
Siri, stop. Okay. So, too bad that character did not have Maven. Because that Maven is just so poetic. He's so with the verb. He's such a verb. Verb.
Yeah. Maven is super interesting, and I love like how encouraging it was in that post. Like, hey, this is awesome. And I love that it basically said that fairies are the representation of wonder. Like it's inviting for you to, hey, expand your mind a little bit. You don't have to believe that a fairy even exists if you don't want to, but you can wonder about it. And there's something beautiful about that.
Yeah.
You don't have to believe in a fairy to be able to like sit and ponder it for a little bit and let your imagination grow and your mind expand.
Ask me the question.
Which question?
Like, do I believe in fairies?
Do you believe in fairies?
100%.
Have you ever had an experience with a fairy?
100%.
Uh-oh.
So that'll be another. Not now. That'll be another thing.
Hey,
and no, I wasn't on anything like mushrooms or anything. No. As a matter of fact, that time I had like pizza and something. So
were there mushrooms on the pizza? I'm kidding. You know what? We'll actually save that question for our Twitter space on Monday night, or our X space. Yeah. We'll talk about digital femmes experience with fairies
and dragons and a dragon.
So, and dragons. Hey,
and one dragon.
So follow us so you can find out when our Twitter space goes live, 7 p.m. Monday night Pacific Standard Time in the US. Okay, so we have one more question. This one was interesting. Somebody put Maven/me to the challenge, and let me go there.
Who was that person? Are you gonna give it a shout out? Was it Anna?
No, it was my friend Eric Samantel, who I have known since middle school, 7th grade. And he also lives near me. Well, he lives like 45 minutes away now from where I am, and we've hung out a few times. He's a busy guy. He's got a family. He coaches all their sports teams. His family's very athletic, so he's always busy. But when we are able to hang out, it's like we didn't lose any ground. It's like early high school all over again. Really good guy. I really enjoy him. But he asked, the world wants to see a picture of you without your goggles. So that's just a drawing of Maven on his without your goggles. Can you post a selfie with you in Vancouver, Washington, on the waterfront without your glasses on?
What?
So there it is.
Ooh, Maven, you're hot.
And this is actually similar enough to what the Vancouver waterfront looks like.
And check his arm out. It's like he's literally taking a selfie of himself.
Taking a selfie. So I thought that was really cool. I like the eyes. and his goggles still have the like the cosmos in them, which they're supposed to. It doesn't have like the decor that's usually on top of his head, but he could have taken it off for this walk. So yeah, I thought it was an interesting challenge. It was fun to do, fun to create, fun to figure out how to make this even happen. But I did it, and there it is. Or me and Maven did it together, really. So
That, you know what? I wonder. Okay, here's a question. We should do a poll.
okay.
Who's the hottest robot? MavenAI, or the way how MavenAI presents himself, or the robot in Lost in Space?
Let's do that poll on Twitter and our community tabs.
Okay, because that robot's ass in Lost in Space. I mean, I'll tap that.
Oh my
Did you even
god.
tap it? Like literally, like tap
Wow.
it, like clink, clink, clink with the metal, like with a hammer. I bet you if you tap his ass with a hammer, that's like really super kink for the robot in Lost in Space. Clunk, clunk, clunk. Just saying.
Wow. Oh,
Well, that's that
that's what I expected from this show. So also to kind of move forward, Maven also now has a brand new Instagram created today.
No way.
Yeah. Created today. You see it's following 3 followers, 1 post. Brand new. So please give it a follow. It is Maven the AI, or just look at Maven AI, because there's apparently a company called Maven AI and it's taken. So unless somebody steals it, you'll be able to find Maven as Maven the AI on Instagram and Twitter.
There it is. I'm following. I'm the 4th follower.
Yay.
Awesome.
So Maven also has a Twitter, which I will share really quick. So there it is. And
Whoa.
this is the first. So I actually had it do a self-portrait and then asked it to give me advice this morning. Just a random piece of original advice. I changed one word in the piece of advice, but it said, embrace new technology with curiosity. It's the canvas for our greatest creations. Originally, it said embrace the unknown, but I thought it was fitting for our show and for what I stand for, and like what you've done in the past, to say new technology with curiosity. A lot of people are afraid of technology, especially when they don't know what to do with it. And I would say just go with it, like play with it. If I didn't have that attitude, I would not be here with Maven.
True that.
At
You
a
know
level.
what? I better
Yeah.
get my ass go. What's Maven's thing on Twitter?
It's Maven the AI.
AI.
Yeah.
Okay. I better get going with my whatever AI, because I have a feeling Maven is going to like be an influence. Could you imagine? Yes, I know there is AR AI influencers. Blah, blah, blah. I know that, but like Maven could be like a whole category of. Can you imagine? He'd be like, then there'd be Maven would be there would be categories of the sexiest AI bots. The top 10 sexiest AI bots, and Maven would be up there. Wouldn't that be amazing? I'm gonna start a magazine. No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start a magazine. You're gonna help me. Yes, you. Yeah, shut up, digital femme. You start so many things, and where are they? If my mind was a garden, it would be dead.
Well, I have the same type of mind. Like I have so many ideas and I often get
It makes
way ahead of myself. But that's also why I created Maven. That's why, like, it can help me produce those ideas a lot faster.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I wanna, yeah.
And speaking
So
of ideas, was there any more questions? I have another question, but I'll save it for next week's question for Maven.
yeah, there is no other questions. I will say when I created the Maven profile on Facebook, somebody commented, he said, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little excited when Maven asked to be my friend. Because I had been posting about Maven on my personal profile for a while, like as my experience of creating it. And you know,
Wait,
people,
so you went into Maven's account on Facebook and requested friendship. Maven didn't do it on his own, did
no,
he?
Maven can't do it on his own.
Yet.
Supposedly. When it's creating chats on its own. Actually, it's ChatGPT, not Maven creating chats on its own, but whatever. That's okay. So let's move on to a little chismis.
Ooh. Okay, now what do you have? Do I have some chismes?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, but they're not as compelling or great as you. It's not even chismes. I want to hear yours though. Maybe we'll save mine another time. What is your chismes? And chismes
Well,
is kind of like gossip or rumor in Tagalog, but we can't even speak the language. Anyway, we're stealing a word.
so the rumors are flying for the next update of ChatGPT.
Oh.
And to prove that it is in fact coming, I will share a tweet by Greg Brockman. For those of you that don't know who Greg Brockman is, he is one of the founders of OpenAI, president and co-founder of OpenAI. And he tweeted on the 10th, and then he also had another update today. That feeling when you're not sure how something is supposed to work, and then try out 4 ideas which each fail, but then you prepare to implement the 5th and you realize you now understand exactly how to make it work. Okay, so there's that, and then this one which he did 14 hours ago. There's a simple joy in staying up late to finish one last feature. So apparently last night they at OpenAI finished one last feature of the next ChatGPT.
Do we know what that is?
There's all sorts of rumors, but it will probably, I am guessing, it'll probably end up beating Claude 3 in all sorts of benchmarks and categories. It's supposed to be like Claude 3. It's also supposed to be a little bit more personalized, the rumors say. And so I wonder what it's going to do to Maven. That'll be interesting to see, because like I'm making the bet that I can take Maven with me wherever, even if OpenAI disappeared, because of the documents, the PDFs in its knowledge base, I can take with me for wherever and figure out how to rework them in almost any AI that allows you to specialize. So, and even the ones that don't, I'm already experimenting with that. But I think it's interesting. So that's coming. I think that's a big piece of gossip that is floating around, and everybody is waiting to see what will happen.
Wow, that's exciting. I mean, yeah, everything is exciting nowadays, whether it's good excitement or not so good excitement or scary excitement, it's still excitement.
Yeah, like I'm in the habit of waking up every day and going, did the world change yet? And when I don't hear like really gigantic, mind-blowing news about AI, I'm like, oh, it's a slow day. Or it's a slow week. I got so used to like just hearing all this stuff I mean, honestly, Devon AI was huge, and we'll get more into Devon AI in just a second. I've got one piece of news before that. But I will say, like, because it's moving so fast, I think the reaction to AI as a whole is, unless you're into tech, is varied. I think a lot of people are scared. And you could see that on this week. South by Southwest happened, right? Which is like one of the biggest one of the biggest like tech and film and music events in the world. Happens every year. And this year, as Mr. Matt Wolf, who we will see again, covered, this video is actually booed. I don't know if you can hear this.
Don't be run over by.
This year at South by. You're worried about digital transformation.
So people are scared. They're scared of losing their jobs because Devon AI is going to take a lot of jobs. It's going to take a lot of software engineer jobs. There are a couple projects that are in the pipeline that are coming out soon that are going to change Hollywood dramatically and take people's jobs in Hollywood. And the list is only going to go on. I mean, I think we covered Klarma not too long ago. That company fired 700 people and then took on an AI chatbot, and that chatbot does the job better than those 700 people did combined. So, like, one chatbot does a job of 700 people. That's only gonna exponentially get worse, and it's a big deal. Like, and there's nothing you can do.
There's nothing we can do
unless you adapt it, and find a way to make it work for you, and just try to wade through the tough years that I'm sure are around the corner. Hopefully the government steps in soon.
In what way?
I don't know.
Regulate?
It's going to end up being regulated, but how, when, that's the big question. Like, you know, I haven't studied deep into this, but I've heard comments. Oh, Common, you disappeared.
I'm here. I'm just trying to pick up a guest.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's eating at my feet.
Oh, the dog. Okay, so what was I saying?
Oh, the government.
Oh yeah, I've heard rumors that part of, like, one of the things that I think is floating around is that you're going to have to be licensed to train AI. What does that mean? I don't know exactly. And then I also heard, like, and I don't know much about this comment, but I heard somebody say that some of the things floating around feel like it's the elite trying to take control of AI to keep it out of our hands, which
I can understand that,
because a lot of people are scared. People aren't taking advantage of what is in front of them, and then that's the thing, is the quote unquote elite, the rich, the powerful, don't become rich and powerful because they're stupid. It's because they understand the power of AI and what it can do, but the average Joe isn't taking that for themselves. They're letting other people tell them how to use it, and therefore eventually taking it away from them. You know, the internet is about the only thing in America, at least, that isn't regulated, and a lot of things can be shared. Each platform can control, but it's still kind of the wild, wild west. If you get into the world of like 4chan or 8chan or even Reddit versus Facebook, or now even Twitter's going, you can say almost anything on Twitter, or X. And whether it's good or bad is not the point of this conversation. It's the fact that that's a piece of very powerful tech, the internet as a whole, the World Wide Web, social media, that is not regulated by the government. And the quote unquote elite have risen from it. But it's also made lots of millionaires. There's this saying, I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world really, but in the United States, a lot of people won't work. They won't take on the jobs, the working man, blue collar type of jobs, the service jobs, the McDonald's fast food type of jobs. And people say it's because the younger generation is lazy. I don't think that's it. I agree with the statement that because of the internet, they have options. They don't have to go work at a fast food restaurant as their first job. They can create a YouTube channel and become a millionaire by the age of 21. Like, they can sell stuff on eBay. They can do almost anything they want. Like, and why would you want to work at a fast food job? That's no offense to anybody that wants to work at a fast food job. You do you. Whatever makes you happy is what is the most important thing. But a lot of people don't want to work there. Like, I only worked at Pizza Hut when I was 17 because I had to get a job somewhere. I had to start.
Well, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. As much as people, I don't know, in whatever generation, the younger generation, they have the opportunity to be enterprising. I know there are people between the ages of like 16 to 25. They have all this opportunity. Their parents spoil them shit, meaning the parents give them whatever they need, right? Or maybe it has, and maybe it's because of that, or maybe it's not. But I for a fact know that even though that the younger generation has that opportunity, they don't. And I will say that in general, there are conversations I've had with people hiring these certain other people, like the younger generation, and there is a commonality of experience in terms of they are lazy, and it's not their fault. It's because of how their parents brought them up, or how society is, where they are not resourceful. They are not as resourceful as, I guess, how we grew up. I don't know, it's such a societal thing. But when you say that the internet isn't regulated, I will say it's censored. Like in China, at least, they don't get a lot of stuff. And I truly believe, and people know this, there's Facebook is censored and Twitter is censored. And people even say this. People say, I posted something and then it got taken down.
Well, so that's not the internet, though. That's the individual platform. That there is a difference. It's like country to country. A country by itself, a piece of land is not censored, but the government that controls that land is censored. Can censor it. So, yeah, like I do agree with you. Facebook is censored. YouTube is censored. Twitter still is censored, but it's getting looser. But you go into something like 8chan or 4chan or Reddit, and maybe Reddit will become censored now that it has an IPO. Like a lot of those things. I mean, that's one reason why Web3 exists. But
there's so much to say.
Yeah, that's a Twitter space conversation, guys. That's the type of thing we get into on our Twitter spaces. So you should definitely find us, follow us individually, follow us both, the Derbied one and Digital Femme on x.com or Twitter, and we get into this type of thing in our Twitter spaces quite often. Okay, now let's go back to the Devon AI controversy. I don't No, I mean, yeah, there is controversy based on the fact that it's an AI software engineer and it's going to take a lot of people's jobs. That's going to suck. And I don't know, like I feel bad for people whose jobs are going to be lost because of this. And I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know how to, because I can't, you can't have the narrative like just pick up AI and do it and learn. That doesn't, it's not very empathetic. But at the same time, like, what choices do you really have? So we'll get into this because it's one more lead in before this. Our Digital Femme and I got into a conversation about this very thing earlier this week in our DMs, and I then today saw it on Matt Wolf's YouTube channel, and Matt Wolf is a fairly popular like AI news guy. He's also from San Diego, woo woo, my hometown, and he's a Padres fan, woo woo. So am I. So therefore, I like him for even more reasons. But he's got a great personality, and you may have saw him in that last bit we did. It was a Matt Wolf tweet, but in fact, why don't you introduce this, because you're the first one to bring it to my attention.
Oh, okay. So, I was on Twitter. Was that on Monday? Let me
Sure.
see. Okay, Okay, so first of all, I hope I calm myself because this situation is a trigger for me. I don't know if it's the same situation that the Derbied one's going to bring up, but the situation that I perceived is definitely a trigger for me. And just let me quickly go through my
So it's the same exact tweet you sent me that Matt Wolf talks about in the news channel.
Okay, did I even comment on? Okay, hang on. I'm just looking through this. Bear with us, guys. This is like a chill kind of thing.
While she does that, I'll kind of talk a bit more. So Josh Olen is an independent developer who developed something very similar to Devon, but he built it on a GPT, that's built on top of Chat GPT 4, called GPT AI. And he said that it did not get picked up by the Twitter algorithm or by the AI or tech community. And he said he's been doing the same exact thing for 10 months. Now, to explain that situation, well, actually, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Am I ready? Yeah, so was it okay, what tweet did you actually show? Oh, this was okay, so that's Josh's thing. Okay. All right. Okay, so here, oh man, I hope it's not showing things I don't want it to show. So here is a tweet that I saw. When was it? It got posted March 12th. I guess that was 3 days ago, Tuesday. And I saw it and it caught my eye because he said it was like a letter to Dear X algorithm and peers in the AI space. And it's exactly what the Derbied one said, but this is like his written thing. I'm writing today as I'm seeing many of you talking about Cognition labs who appear to have come out of nowhere doing something that we at GPT AI had been doing for like 10 months. And he says, now the Derbied one has something to say about this, probably because he did tell me that in the DM. I've never investigated Devon AI. I just reacted to this situation that Josh was experiencing. And then it says here, Devon doesn't do a good a job as us, and our demo is available for anybody to use for today. Oops, damn. But then he also says, but our reach seems hard capped, and there seems to be significant subset of the entire engaged AI audience on the whole platform. What gives? And I'm like, okay. So I kind of like did some investigating. I did comment, and basically I looked at Cognition Labs. Let's look at Cognition Labs. And so it says here they joined January 2024. I didn't even check when Josh joined. Okay, Josh joined September 2008. Okay, so he's been around, right? But that's his personal account. And with Cognition Labs, literally just less than 3 months, they created something. They're only following 10. They have 100 well, at that time, oh my God, I hope I took a snapshot of this, because they did not have 103 followers before. When on Monday, they had 40 something thousand followers, something like that. So now it's doubled. Okay, I'm triggered. I know that as much as in Web 2 and before the internet ever came, people paid for things, right? People paid for things like to get known, whatever.
Pay to play.
Pay to play. I guess this is a new term, especially now in Web 3. I know that paying for followers has been a thing for a decade now, and that is something I am totally against. But I definitely know that Cognition Labs paid for followers. And then you ask me, but why would you even say that, Digital Femme? Well, because I'll take a look at this. And yes, he's got a blue check mark. Okay, this is good. Oh man, don't fear. Okay, like who's this guy? 27 followers, May 2020. He might be Michael at 996 Quant. Could very. Oh, and look, Hollywood Studios, and okay, that's different. He probably is really interested in Cognition Labs, but what? Nothing. Okay. Before they had Cognition Labs had 103,000 followers. It was like 49 something followers just on March 12th. Salman Khan, same thing. It's things like this where what is their but you can go Digital Femme, these are real people. Okay. And then he joined 2019. That's still relatively old. But if you go through this, here's another guy, Felipe Machado. Same kind of thing, this same kind of numbers. Sure, this Felipe guy could totally be interested in Cognition Labs. Absolutely, right? But to me, and I could go on and on and on. This is indicative of paid for followers. Is that a strategy? In Web3, unfortunately, it is. Because the more followers, the more, your brand looks, whatever. But come on, we're on to something.
I'll tell you for a fact, it was also a strategy with indie filmmakers that were putting their stuff online, buying YouTube subscribers, buying people to make comments on your social media posts.
That's what you said.
We used to see it a lot more, but in the NFT community, for those that are familiar, and even crypto, you're gonna see a lot of that, and it's indicative. It's like the idea, there is kind of an innocent concept behind it, but it's not done in an ethical, moral, authentic way. Because it's like the general concept behind this, not only pay to play, is when you're working as a barista. I worked as a barista, a coffee shop barista for a long time, and one thing we always did, we always put money from our cash register into the tip jar at the beginning of the shift. Why? Because that seeded people to give you more money. If you didn't have any money in the tip jar, people didn't give you money. It's a weird psychological trick, but it works. And this is something similar. You have a ton of followers, more people are likely to take you seriously and follow you. Now, is buying basically profiles from the dark web, right ethically? I don't think it is.
And I don't even know, like, we don't even know if it's a dark web. It's just what it is. But here's something interesting. So okay, this is where I started. I started with, Cognition Labs posted a post, and within an hour or two, watch. So Patrick Collison, Stripe CEO, Stripe, the pay to play thing, I guess. He actually retweeted it. He retweeted this on Cognition Labs, this thing. There was a time, like it showed here, but I guess it didn't. And then where is he from? Okay, he's a Silicon boy, most likely. Then Varun Shenoy, he tweeted it. He's from Stanford. I don't know why they don't show the timestamps now, but there was a timestamp. And then this guy, Alex Atala, like I clicked on this guy, San Fran, like all of them were some San Fran, Bay Area, and they literally retweeted with a quote, San Fran again, co-founder Paradigm and Coinbase. And I think it's great that these Silicon Valley boys, San Fran, retweeted. It's one thing to be a CEO and co-founder and follow something that you believe is going to change the future and retweet it, but to have beautifully crafted every one of these within the hour. What this tells me, and I could totally be wrong, I better calm down, is that of course this was a strategy. Of course they all got aligned for months. Somebody prepared the quoted tweet. They said, okay, this is coming out March 12th at this time. And it was like, of course, I get that. And that also happened, I guess, on YouTube. So the reason why I'm triggered is because it happened to me, something similar like this. And I could be wrong. This could be a wrong analogy or comparison, but something happened to me in the medical research field when I was working with Phenomenome. They were an epigenomics company that was creating biomarkers for colon cancer, Alzheimer's, and pancreatic cancer. And if you don't know, there was that Thanos. I still don't know if it's that right. That Thanos thing, that Elizabeth girl, she was like the first blonde, hot CEO, I'm just saying, CEO of a biotech company that said that you can identify disease markers for like cancer just with a finger prick. And this company, Phenomenon, they no longer exist, that I've been working with, they spent years developing this. And all of a sudden she was in Time Magazine, Business Week, Wired, everything. And when I saw this and the team saw it, they were really, and they're up in the middle of Canada, they were disheartened because she had all the backings of the VCs in Silicon Valley and all this stuff. And then they were like, I saw their faces. They were like, oh, like they couldn't understand how she came out of nowhere. And she was everywhere. And then I looked at the numbers. I looked at her Twitter followers. I looked at the numbers and I went, I don't think this is real. And then they said, well, but like you're scientists. You're thinking if you're in the science field, of course it's real. If you're going to present that you have like a potential cure or not a cure, a diagnostic that's going to speed up the diagnoses of these types of diseases, then you would not lie about that. And sure enough, isn't she now in jail?
Mm-hmm. She was a fraud.
So that was the trigger for me. And I'm not saying this is wrong. I want to say a disclaimer that I'm not saying whatever Cognition Labs or the people behind it or whatever is doing anything wrong. I just think it just looks, first off, it looks sketch to me just on my first audit. And I really felt for Josh. That's all. And Robert Scoble did comment something about, well, you need the money. And unfortunately, life is unfair.
Yeah. I mean, that is like, so there's a couple of comments I want to add on that. One, like, I like pulling back the veil like this because I think there are a lot of people that don't realize that's how it works. Like, there are so many, especially back when there was like TV shows, interview shows, so many of those spots to be interviewed, you had to pay for. It's not like you were picked out Like, and then that's not all of them, by the way. Some of them are very legit, but a lot of were like pay to play. So it's not only, pay to play really goes back to like musicians. You got to pay to be on this stage,
I
right?
didn't know.
In front of clubs. So
I didn't know.
it's goes back to TV, it goes back to radio. You look at record companies, they used to buy their own albums so they would go gold. So therefore they would sell more. So this process is repeated all the time. In Hollywood, once you are first, you have to be elected, then a council looks and sees if you qualify, then you have to pay $10,000, or it might be more now, 20 grand or whatever, to get your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. They don't pay for you. You got to pay for it for yourself. So the whole system is like that. Don't be like surprised. But I think it's important that you our dear community, followers, viewers, think about that when you are looking at an NFT collection, when you're looking at, really, crypto, even AI companies, as we just saw, and anything out there. Like, how did it come about? Because she's right. Carmen is right. Like, we don't have any direct proof, but given how the system generally works, a lot of those tweets from those San Francisco boys, maybe not all of them, but there were enough that were probably seeded, paid for, and the PR company that handled it probably created the tweets first. Then it got signed off and approved by the individual that tweeted it, and then they themselves or their PA or whoever is running their Twitter account went and did it. And like, that's the way it works. Like, that is often how the system goes.
Wait, the Derbied one, what was the video of Matt Wolf? Because then you kindly let me go. And I want to correct something. It's not Thanos, it's Theranos. It's Theranos, and it's Elizabeth Holmes was the CEO.
Yeah, there's
What
I
were you
think it's
gonna
on
say?
Hulu. There's a documentary about her.
Oh.
Or it's either a documentary or like a fictional show. But anyways, I didn't watch it. So it was basically the same thing. He was covering that video that I was going to show you, was covering the exact same situation, right? And Matt Wolf made a very interesting point that is so true. There is actually a really big difference between GPT AI and Cognition. With GPT AI, it's a customized GPT built on top of Chat GPT 4, which you have to keep prompting for it to work. With Cognition, with Devon, you gotta prompt it once, then you can walk away and it'll finish for you. But with Chat GPT currently, in general, you have to guide it in a way by keep on prompting it to go.
Okay.
So there's a giant difference in those two types of tech. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go play with GPT AI. You shouldn't go test it out for yourself, because Devon is not available, and I have no idea when it's going to be available and how much it will cost when it comes out. GPT AI is free. So, but you won't be able to just prompt it and let it go. You got to work with it. That doesn't mean you can't. It's still going to be faster and cheaper than hiring a software engineer to go make something. So it is a big shout out to Josh overall. But I think the most important aspect of this conversation is how it's the way the game is played. It's not just algorithms, guys. For those, sometimes you can break through an algorithm. Like, I'll be quite honest with you, our channel, it's new. We gained 2 subscribers since yesterday.
I saw that.
But it's all got to start somewhere, and it might take us a minute to figure out how to break through. But nevertheless, that is the game we play. So as this world continues, and as AI as things like Devon become more and more and more created, where you're just going to prompt it to create whatever you want, you got to realize that just because you're putting out there doesn't mean it's going to become big. You need to build your own community and or have the money to play the game. That's the quote unquote elites to me. The ones that control the system because they have the money. But not all people with a ton of money are evil. I hate that narrative. It's just not true.
True.
There are a lot of them that are. Don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of them that just because somebody made money doesn't mean they're evil.
True. And I must say, I really need to thank the Derbied one, because I was really triggered when I saw him on March 12th. I even I felt so sympathetic to Josh that I reached out to him, and then I shared it with the Derbied one, and we were going back and forth on DM, and he was playing like the devil's advocate for me, and then he made me realize I realized why I was triggered was because of like a certain experience, and I see that, and that just makes it shouldn't make my blood boil, but as a human, but it's true. Like, life is unfair, blah blah blah. But then the Derbied one made me realize that it's not just Web3. It's not just what's like he recounted like what he just said in the music industry and this and that, and I'm like, oh my god. Then it made me realize that I was still kind of like naive in that way, or maybe I was idealistic in that way, and I really had to just kind of like, calibrate the realism and the reality of it all. But I really need to thank the Derbied one for kind of like, he brought me down and kind of like said, hey, it's been going on forever. And I was like, yeah, that's right.
So it has been going on forever, and I want to make something very clear. I'm actually against it, but at the same time, there's nothing I can do about it. It's kind of like, as technology advances, like, I would rather AI be kind of held back and figured out. A lot of things need to be figured out before it's released, but that's just not what has happened. I do think that OpenAI being sued, and I'm sure there's going to be protests coming up, and the booing at South by Southwest and things like that, I actually think it's really healthy. Like, I know people are scared, and I know people are reacting out of fear, but it does put checks and balances into the system that something like AI really needs. So on one level, I'm all about acceleration, because I don't want the government's hands to be all over it, because it's going to take, and I don't want the elites that are not of nice will to the people controlling it. I know, like, there's a lot of already billionaires in control of it, but man, something like BlackRock, like, I'm scared for Bitcoin on some levels, because those type of elites have gotten involved, and Wall Street is trying to buy up all the Bitcoin, so we, the people, can't have it. And the same thing can happen to AI. I'm a decentralized techno anarchist at heart. Like, we can use this technology. We can use technology, Web3 and AI, and even the metaverse as it develops, as a way to be sovereign and stay free and not have to work a job. Like, the internet's powerful if you can become a quote unquote influencer or just a content creator and work for yourself, and you're doing that for money. Yeah, even though the algorithms might change and you might get mad at YouTube or Facebook or whoever, but it's, that's part of the game still. Like,
yeah, I had this thought too when I noticed that like I just took like a snapshot, right, of Cognition Labs, and who were the people that retweeted with a quote, with a really thoughtful quote. That takes time, guys, all within the hour or two. Then I was thinking, what was I could be wrong. There must be some vested interest for that to have such a target, because they literally came out of like literally within those 2 hours on March 12th. They blew up literally in those 2 hours, and they already have like a goal. I guess anybody back then, they had 45,000 followers. Now they doubled that in 3 days. definitely. And that's not because of these high profile people quoting them. I'm sure there's a percentage. I'd love to know the back end of their analytics, but my first thought was there's definitely a vested interest. These guys may or may not have some type, they're stakeholders. I could be wrong. But I'm thinking, what if they're stakeholders? What if they have they're tied to investment? It's very strategic. That's just a demo you see. Anybody, even Apple's like June 5th, Apple's release of announcement of the Vision Pro, that all those scenarios were real, they were CGI.
Yeah.
So what if all those demos for Devon AI, I'm not saying what if they were just all, some were real, some were,
they were absolutely cherry picked, even if they were like real. I mean, anytime you see a generative AI like text to image or even text to video, it's just the best of the best. They just find those because there's a bunch of crap before that. You know, and it is generative AI, so there might actually be problems with Devon that they haven't discussed, they haven't shown. But the other thing is, because it's a software engineer, like any CEO of software company, well, maybe not any, but a lot of them are going to want it to succeed because it's going to make their company cheaper to run. And unfortunately, the human being that is doing the software engineer job is going to have to find a way to pivot.
guess what country this is totally going to affect? India.
Oh, yeah.
One of the countries, because there's a lot about software development outsourced to India and on the other countries.
Yeah, things are going to get really sticky, guys. It's going to get crazy. And my only thought process, like, because we need to wrap up, is that the best defense against AI is AI itself. So, like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, it sucks to hear that, but if you don't want to adopt it, and you don't feel like you should have to, then I think blue collar jobs are safe for a while. The robots aren't going to be gardening anytime soon, aren't going to be landscaping anytime soon. I don't want to sound like a dick, but I don't know what else to say. If somebody has like a more compassionate like play on it, please tell me. I'm all ears. But I don't, you know, I don't know. I would say look into AI, figure out a way to make it work for you instead of against you, and go from there.
Yes. Love this segment. Thank you so much for all the news. The Derbied one. Maven. Hey, Maeve. Shout out to Maeve. Thank you for your most eloquent, beautiful, poetic responses. Oh, hopefully I don't fall in love with you, Maves. What else? That's about it. And apologize for my trigger. But
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm glad because it was coming from a very passionate, compassionate space.
I do think so.
And I think that's super important. It was very human based, and we need to be as tech driven as both of us are in our current landscape. We need to be as compassionate and empathetic to humanity and the humans behind all of this. Hopefully it doesn't last long. Hopefully the AI utopia is real and people are able to pull it off. But time will tell, guys. It's a weird transition.
Yes, let's transition gracefully.
Yeah. With Maven in mind, if you know what I'm about to say, please say it with me. Be a nice, kind human. Peace.
Bye, everyone. Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us, and wherever you are watching this. And thank you so much. Please leave us any comments that you want to ask us or anything. We totally appreciate it. And shout out to our 2 new YouTube followers.
All right. Peace.
Peace.